Northwestern runs a lot of quarters coverage, cover 4, and they don't allow a lot of big plays. They rank tied 13th in the country. They've only allowed 27 plays of 20-plus yards. But that means there could be a lot of Andrew Marsh and Zach Marshall if he's out there, or Marlon Klein, or the running back out of the backfield, Jordan Marshall, or whoever it is, for those easy completions. And that would be nice to see, because after the Washington game, when he took all those singles, and it was like, okay, there's progress. Like when he's got a guy open, has a guy open, he's just getting it to him. He's not trying to force that ball in downfield. And then there weren't even those guys. It felt like whatever they were doing, there wasn't that the last 2 weeks. So maybe they can get back to that in this game. And I think Jordan Marshall should be able to have a big day. You're right, Chris, maybe not 200 on the ground, although it's possible. Only one team has done that against Northwestern so far this year. But teams have found some success, I think, throwing and being balanced against this defense, which is solid and hasn't allowed a lot of points. But there are definitely some things that they're not totally shored up on. They've missed 33 tackles over the last 2 games, 17 against Nebraska, 16 against USC. It's become a big issue for them. And, something that I know David Braun, their head coach, said they're trying to figure out this week as to why they're happening. And the one thing I'm concerned about is when Jordan Marshall's not on the field, I would say. I mean, Bryson Cusdahl looked good with a couple 7-yard runs against Purdue, but I think this is a better defense. I think the Ohio State defense is a lot better. And down the stretch, if you don't have Justice Haynes, you have Cusdahl, you have Jasper Parker, and it's not just running, it's the pass protection too. What are your guys' thoughts on what this running back situation is going to look like, and how many carries can you give Marshall? Because I know Sharon Moore said 25 to 30 if you have to. Chip Lindsey said the ideal is 20 to 25. He's carried it 25 times 2 of the last 3 games, right in the middle of those 2 ranges. But if you have to give him 32 carries to win this thing, I would do it, but I'm also not a coach. So
what it takes, you do what it takes. This is not a guy that's been running the ball all year. He had games where he's had 10 carries or something like that, or maybe even less, because Justice Haynes was playing so well. So it's not, you aren't concerned about, okay, you're wearing him out, so on and so forth. It's what a kid can handle. And I will go back, and I wrote about this, to Chris Perry's 50 carry game against Michigan State. Mike Hart had a 40-something carry game, and those guys weren't complaining, right? You've also had guys here whose parents were worried about pitch counts. Well, you got my kid 27 carries. We're worried about the NFL. Then you don't belong here. So it was good that they moved on. I think that Jordan Marshall is the kind of kid that wants that. He's feed me. You can tell the way he runs, the kind of teammate he is. I have no doubt that he's capable of even a 35 carry game if it comes to that. So this could be a game where we see a little bit more of Bryce Underwood running now. And maybe you have to go that route where, okay, you didn't want to do that earlier in the year, but maybe he really is like your second best running back, fellas, if you think about it now. So you're going to have to take that risk. And yeah, if he goes down, your season's over anyway, but you can't play scared, flat out. That's just what it boils down to. But I love the way Jordan Marshall runs. And I think he feels a little bit better being that number 1 guy. It seemed like he was running with chasing somebody when Justice Haynes was number 1. And I've got to do this and I got to do that. Couldn't just be himself earlier in the year. He was kind of trying to force some things and be a back that he wasn't. He can still break the big run, but he is a fantastic back in his own right. So just be yourself, kid. And I'll tell you what, if it does take Anthony, if it takes 35 carries, let the guy run the ball 35 times, whatever it takes to win, because every game is a playoff game now, and you can't hold back at this point.
Yeah, I'd argue it's necessary. You want to keep guys as fresh as possible, but let's call it what it is. I mean, the next 2 guys up are a true freshman in Jasper Parker and a former walk-on who I think is good for his role in Bryson Cusdahl. So we've talked a little bit why, it's probably not a week where they do run for 200 yards, but let me give you I'm going to give you a few numbers why there's a chance it could still. Where Clayton talked about some of the tackling numbers with Northwestern over the last few weeks. And I know we'll take Pro Football Focus for what it is. Take it with a grain of salt. Where do you think they rank in terms of tackling teams in Division I? Any guesses?
88? I don't know.
They are tied for 125th with Charlotte at 50.9. That's their grade on PFF. Now that's, again, I think their grades are a little bit wonky at times, but given the numbers you stated earlier, it might be something to keep an eye on. Michigan, they've had 6.3 yards per carry this year. There's another number from PFF, 2.6 yards before contact, which is 9th in college football this season. So this could be a game where they have another big game on the ground. Like, I think the ingredients are there for that. You want to walk out of this feeling like they were balanced and they took a step forward. But, if they have to turn the ball or turn around and hand the ball off to Jordan Marshall 35 times in this game, that's what they're going to have to do. And he'll just have himself a hell of an ice bath after it. Like, that's what has to happen right now, because you cannot sacrifice percentage points it might take to win the game in order to keep him fresh, to get Jasper Parker or Bryson Kuzdal more carries. You can't do that. So for as much as you want that to be the plan, I think that they're going to ride Jordan Marshall as long as they can in this one.
I agree. And you just hope he doesn't cramp up like he did at the end of last game, because you want at least the option of having him available the entire game. But yeah, you feel like maybe you can survive a few snaps here and there, I guess, without him. But yeah, this dude is kind of the heartbeat of this offense at this point.